Hey, welcome everybody to Battle Pirates Crib. We're looking forward to Trial by Fire, and there's been breaking news associated with changes to the Battle Pirates Crib to the FM in the last couple minutes that Major Rampage has posted. We'll get to that towards the end. I already have that up and ready to talk about, but many people probably want to talk about the raid beforehand because I don't know that they, after reading through it, that everything is going to. We might get into a long, extended argument that goes nowhere on what's going on with the most recent changes. So I guess I'll introduce people from left to right. The Earth,
Evening, guys.
the Holsch,
Howdy, everyone.
Senior Daniel,
Hello, everyone.
and this is Hefe. Um, I guess we should go ahead and launch the slides and get talking about the raid at this point, and then we'll move on to the FM changes. Alrighty. That's the original. That's the Trial by Fire by Journey. So there we go. Um, Here's the quick little synopsis that they put together. The only interesting thing, they list the ships that we previously had, and they're going to include the, assuming this is in the new S targets, which we'll talk about later. They're going to include the prototype hunter, the Nighthawk, and ECM hulls. And the ECM hulls will decrease the reload on your weapons. So
Fantastic.
yeah, yeah. I do wonder if it's actually the Visaga's prototype hunter, because we got teased by GDA that that the Fangtooth does really well when it's not surfaced, and the Visaga's prototype hunter has a cavitation field on it. The normal one, as I recall, it does not have a cavitation field. So it'll be interesting to see which one of the two that we will actually see in the targets. The Nighthawk I find interesting, I guess, for two reasons. Um, I'm expecting that to be a stealthy ship that only does concussive damage, as opposed and torpedo damage, as opposed to whatever we've been seeing before. So that will be interesting and might be the reason that we've got in Tech Up 2, we got the new sonar that adds 80 onto our sonar. So, how are you doing there, George?
I probably shouldn't say right now.
Okay. All right. Does anybody have anything else on this little synopsis they gave us?
Well, only the prototype hunters have got thermal, obviously, and the Mark ones haven't. Just as another thing.
Yeah.
I'm a little aggravated because the people that have a full hunter fleet pushed out are the ones that had a good amount of it already ready for the first raid, right? And in the first raid, we saw a full fleet do their target on auto for 1 coin, and now they're already bumping up. I mean, I'm assuming the damage and the difficulty for people that have gotten this fleet out on top of their fangs because people wanted to auto it while they were driving their fangs so they could actually get points. And man, they better have balanced it really well, because if it comes back as like 3-4 times the damage, that's just gonna be bullshit.
Yeah. And who knows? Maybe it'll be less of, I don't know. Maybe they'll force them to drive it. I don't know. I'm not sure till we see it. All right. This is what we were talking about earlier. These are the tier 7 targets. Fangtooth Abyss and the Hunter's Call. with a limit of 199 each. And the targets we've already seen before, Fangtooth's Depth and Hunter's Bay, which they don't list here. I just remember because of the name, the brand of fan. But they've limited these to 3 each.
Asinine.
What?
It's asinine to limit it to just 3. They should have limited to like 5 or 10. I mean,
yeah, I think they should have listed to 1 of each type and at least allow you to commit or complete one of the sides of the tree. You know, 10 would be a good number because that would allow you to complete the glutton or the phantom gluttony side, and then spend extra time experimenting with these new targets that have the previous ships that we just mentioned. Allow us to play around with them to try to get more charged armors or whatever else we might want that are in the prize list. Yeah, I think 10 makes sense.
I mean, I don't know. Given what we just went through with the FM, I don't know that they've got to be really careful with what they're doing right now because the community is already pissed off. I mean, I got the FM done. I've figured it out. I think I ended it with an extra 3 million points because I was testing and stuff, right? But the problem is not me, right? It's the entirety of the community. Because if you get rid of all the people that are having problems or were using what did Rampage say, the older tech, there's not going to be anybody to play with us. So yeah, I'll be able to do that the raid. But damn, I have 2 full fleets all decked out. I don't know how many people in the game have that right now.
Yeah, I know, but I posted some videos with, using 2 Zelos and 3 icebreakers. There's another one that's posted using a mono fleet with a single Zelo, and a gut spill carrier as a tank for the ships. It's easily done with the tech that you did have beforehand, or that you've got available to you. All you got to do is add in an assault tank.
Right, but why are we doing that in a garrison target? And secondly, I mean, how many people are actually in a position to be able to actually have done all the refits and builds that we did? I mean, I blew coin doing it just so I could get something out there for people to use.
So, I'm not being at all funny here, but I've not played for a year, and on the second day I was doing it for 20 minutes repair. So,
but you already had those zealous, right?
Yeah, but I built those.
The question is
the same as the ones that I built for the 113 target. So
okay,
it's no difference.
But the majority of the community was using the zealous mono fleet, right, for the 113s. So most people are not going to have a second zealous. They're going to have to build that and rank that. They're going to have to refit their first one, and in the meantime, they're not going to have anything to do the FM at all. So really, you got to build 2 more zealous while you're running the FM, get those things ranked and built. I mean, this is not how you roll out a change like this.
Don't get me wrong, right? You can build a single zealous tank with your monos and use an assault ship as a tank for the rhinos. That's what I'm saying.
But how much time does the target take then? I mean, that's the thing, is that we got to compare it to what we had. We're going to do apples to apples. The 113 we were done in 40 minutes, instant repair damage.
We have 5.
We'll skip to the. We'll get to the FM later. For the raid. For the raid, my biggest concern is, are they presuming that everyone's got the 2 fleets already and already decked out?
Well, I mean, each one of those campaigns is 5 million points. So you could just stick to having one if you only have 1 fleet, and you don't really need the 2 million bonus.
Yep, that was a good change. And the fact that the stuff went down in price too was also a good change. I just don't know if it's enough.
Yeah, but it also depends on how long it takes to do the target also.
Yes, that's another thing. It's points per hour. That's what it's going to end up coming down to.
Okay. Alrighty. Here's the 5,000 for each of the 5 million for each of the new ones, 4 million for the new ones or the old ones, and the
The
2
other,
million. Yeah,
yeah, the other
I
tiers
like the
went down,
ratio.
did they not?
What?
Tier 4, 5, and 6, they went down in points.
It's 3.5 for the tier 6, so I don't think it went down. Isn't that
I think
3.5?
I think that the tier bonus for all three of them went down. I don't
Either
see the
that or
tier
it's
bonus for
accounted in
5.
the points, because wasn't it lower? Because that's 3.5 million, and the Fang 2's depths was 4 million before, right? It wasn't higher, was it?
No.
it's
It was 4 and 2, yeah. But the thing is I think the tier bonus themselves went down.
yeah.
Oh.
The tier bonus has gone down, but the actual points for each individual target's gone up.
Yeah. So unless you're doing tier 6, if you're someone that's struggling, you're kind of boned. Especially if you're 80 or 85 or whatever the cutoff is for tier 4 and 5, you're not grinding this raid.
Well, if you get 3.5, if you're only hitting one target, yeah, you're having an issue. But if you're getting 3.5, and that's what? It's 11 targets or 11 sets over 4 days, so 2.5, almost 3 sets a day. I don't know. It's not. It's grindable on tier 6. It would seem if you just want the one side of the prize tree, and it's even cheap. Well, we'll get to that in a second. Why don't we? Did we already do the prize? Woo woo. No. Oh yeah, those come later. As far as the prize amounts. Alrighty. The Phantom Gluttony. I've only provided what's different than a normal gluttony. They've increased or they've added a thermal imaging range of 100, which is quite good, but I don't know why it's there. And they've added this surface versus submerged effect. The surface effect makes sense. I guess it's a friendly one. That if you are surfaced, you're at least have good deflections against concussive and explosive, and you're doing more damage. This one, the submerged effect, I understand some of it. It's a hostile field, but I'm guessing this is to be used in fleet versus fleet with this negative 50 combat and turn speed. Is that what?
That's
Yeah.
what I'm guessing too. I mean,
Or you could stick in your base.
Yeah.
oh, that's true.
Yeah, you can use it as a base defender and slow their asses down.
That'll slow down a king drip pretty damn quick.
Yeah, that makes sense. And but that means you got to get. Is there any? I guess there's not a really good base defense flagship right now, is there?
The
Alpha, the Harlock Alpha.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, which was good until they brought out the King's Writ, because it tears people up with throwers. But now that they've been introducing ships with all the rad defense, I'm not sure how good they are at this. I don't know at this point.
I think you could just use them as just a flagship and just keep them in the back with anti-mortars.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, unless
So
it's an aura. It's an aura, so it acts as a field of effect. I mean, I'm trying to remember which what counters an aura slowdown.
See what else? The other good thing about the Holox Alpha is the when you've got obviously the extended range on throwers, and when you use polonium, it reduces the accuracy. So that does actually help quite a lot against threats if you take into account the countermeasures for like shooting more and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna do that. I
Where
did
do you
not
go?
think of that. I'll switch mine to that.
Yeah, so the polonium throwers,
Hmm.
They reduce the accuracy to the attacking ship, don't they?
Yeah.
So as soon as they get hit by those, and they've got a range of 113, 112, something like that. It's
Mhm.
higher than the what a Liberator is now. So anything coming into it is obviously going to get hit by that, and the accuracy nerf is going to obviously nerf the hell out of their anti-mortars if you catch them adrift.
I get you. Here's the one I find the most interesting out of anything that's being released in this raid. This raid is the Sinful scattergun. It only fits. It says Conqueror and Defender, but it only fits in a underwater weapon slot. And currently, there is only 2 Conquerors that have underwater weapon slots. There is 0 Defenders at this point. It's a fascinating weapon for basically what's on the right-hand side.
Exactly. I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah, it adds 10,000 deflection for pen, explosive, concussive, and the DOT's. We don't know the exact stack on it, but and DOT acts weird. I mean, has anybody done a lot of experimentation as far as because DOT corrosive bypasses unreactive. Unreactive is supposed to get rid of stacks,
Right.
and DOT corrosive adds stacks, but somehow this is immune from.
DOT in general is
But there's
is
only
unreactive
corrosive DOT.
immune. Right, I understand, but it's the DOT mechanic right now is bypassing the unreactive. I don't know if that's a bug or not, but that's what's going on.
Yeah, it's only for like building up shockwaves, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, it does some other
Well, no,
things. It's
yeah,
also
the
like in the raid.
Yeah.
In the raid, it does something with the mortars hitting you and the slowdown. There are some other things that it does, and it's supposed to be related to it adding stacks. And historically, when they explained how the DOT worked, they talked about it, how many stacks it adds. It's very similar to the way that
Yeah, I agree with you.
the launchers add stacks. So we don't know.
It's the only stack effect in the game that ignores unreactive.
Yeah, yeah. But if you can get up to DOT max damage of 100,000, but we don't. Thing that we don't know, as far as I know, is it does somehow semi bypass corrosive deflection, but not completely. We're in some middle ground, as far as I know, because it's
I mean, technically the type specific deflection is supposed to affect this, like it's supposed to mitigate this. Now the question is, we don't know how it's applied. We don't know how that damage is applied, so we don't know if we're getting a ton of minimum bypass or if it's something else that they haven't explained. I mean, this is where I get aggravated because this is the kind of stuff that we really do need to know. Given the complexity of the game now, to make a informed decision, we kind of need information.
I mean, if it looks highly reduced, but it's still doing significant damage, would your thought that each stack is doing? I'm just going to throw this out there: minimum damage every 0.2 seconds, or some.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking. Is that and I'm thinking that each stack is calculated individually, and that it's by the second. Like it's doing it during the duration count, during duration ticks. Now the catch is I don't know if that duration tick is 1 second or if it's every 0.2 seconds for a total of 5 per second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll have to test this out once it's, and it's getting harder and harder to test things out with the way information is applied and the complexity that's being added. But I put out the defensive stats for the Sinquisitor. This is basically an Inquisitor with 8 of the Sinful scatterguns and some radioactive plates. It really doesn't have a lot of weaknesses that I can see. Hello?
That's interesting. I mean, I'm looking at that, and it's, yeah, I mean, Wiz Holsh, I mean, I'm sure he's going to have one of these things in as a base defender soon.
What? Sorry, I had to walk away for a little bit.
We're talking about this Inquisitor
So yeah, I mean,
in base defense.
the way that I seen it, as soon as I seen this weapon, I was like, well, this is kind of an answer to the Rit, really. You know, the damage over time is going to be massive against them because you can't really hurt them with anything really, apart from minimum damage.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they interact. I guess there was, I don't know if there was a some sort of closed preview I wasn't involved with, but some of this stuff was tested out. But it would have been interesting to see how the Inquisitor with the Sinful scattergun worked versus the King's Writ relative to the Gluttony, because the Gluttony has less reload and way less weapon slots. So the Gluttony was not going to be as effective against the King's Writ as far as applying stacks.
Yeah, but it'll have that slowdown. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the Phantom one would, yes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of curious with the way that criticals are getting calculated, or that we're guessing they're getting calculated. Is that explosive deflection enough for crits with a buff?
Oh, from the bus?
From the bus, yeah.
It should be. It's like let me go look at what my alphas have.
I mean, we're seeing Ritz getting damaged significantly by emancipators at this point too. So it's I don't know how the hell they're doing that calculation for crit chance. It's not the way that we thought initially.
Yeah, because right now my alphas only have 2,500. Well, wait. I get 500 each one. So my alphas have about 5,000 deflection against explosives and probably 40-50% splash dispersion, and it doesn't hurt them really. It does mostly min damage. There's a few shots that hurt him a little bit, but it's mostly min damage from the bus.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing as well is if you put a bunch of those onto your Gluttony, and you've got that slowdown field in there, not a lot that's going to damage your Gluttony either, is it?
Well, unless someone puts hydrodynamic shells on.
Yeah, it's true, but still, you add in that. You're going to be adding a lot of deflection, aren't you?
And nobody says you can't put both in.
That's true.
You can have the slowdown effect and this. It has a projectile speed of 565, which seems like it might be. When I was mocking up builds, I did put high velocity rounds on it because it does have a range of 100. So between the 565 at the edge, it seems like there's a potential with this low splash number of 6. But as a base, there's a chance some really fast ships, if it's not in the right spot, could sail by it. So doubling that projectile speed, especially if you're using it as a defensive ship, might not be a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
All right, are we done with this Inquisitor? The faster I go through this, the more you guys can bitch about the FM. Which, I know that's what everybody loves to do. All right, scatter system. This is a upgrade on the Blight Acid cluster, or whatever it was. This is still going to be better when the blight acid cluster is already at R15, despite what it shows you in Huggies. Huggies has it up to, I think at R15, 67 scattergun reload, and I'm not sure how that's getting calculated, but they're very similar. They both have +2 multi-shot. The blight acid cluster is, I think it's 35 base, and I think it gets like 45 or 46 at R15, 44 to 46, somewhere in that neighborhood, and does not add this bonus combat speed of 20. It's a little bit lighter. I think it's 12 or 13%. So it's worth putting on. This ship, probably, if somebody's still trying to do something with their prides, this is because you can't put the Sinful on the pride, but you can put the special on the pride. So,
Evening, everybody.
hey, Ram.
What's
Does
up,
that
guys?
not have the class specification on it?
On what? The scatter system?
Yeah.
No, it does not.
So you could, well, if you, that would work on hunters, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well, as far as no, those aren't scatter guns. Those are depth charges.
Oh yeah, that's right. Dang it.
I mean, the bonus combat speed, but there's better ways to get that. Trying to think of scatter guns in the PvE world. Is there any that are still relevant?
No.
No, not really.
All right. I guess we're done with the scatter system. All right. Prizes, costs. The left side is what's already previously been released for a couple raids. Fangtooth, Delirium Torps, Torpedo Tubes. I don't know. Any thoughts on the left-hand side? I mean, it seems like, I don't know, with the way people are going, it seems like Tideseeker would make more sense, but they've gone with the Hellwraith.
Yeah.
And the Fire Twister, which I don't understand either. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't been hitting the lower level targets to see if there's a speed differential, because the Fire Twister torpedo is a fire weapon.
Yeah, it's no side weapon, isn't it?
And on the right hands. I'm sorry, you still?
No, Karen.
Okay. Who's using a vibrating machine?
No, it's my phone going off. Somebody.
Okay, all right. I was going to make oh, never mind. Alrighty, on the right-hand side, this is the new stuff from the top up. Phantom Gluttony, which we talked about, the Sinful Scattergun, and the scatter system. Does anybody have any thoughts on any of this? I mean, the Gluttony's getting released. And these were the two. Exactly when did the Muddle Missile came out? Muddle Missile came out in the FM, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, a while ago. Whilst I was away, I missed the Gluttony and the missile.
Well, the deep sea countermeasure as well, and the amphibious missile system was in the FM as well, along with the what was it called? The propellant.
Oh, subaquatic propellant or aquatic propellant.
Yeah.
Did that came with in the Gluttony TLC?
No, the Gluttony TLC came with no specials or weapons or whatsoever.
Okay. Lock store, fairly boring. Shards and the Phantom Fangtooth. So I think it's a good thing. You know, there's nothing really in here that I mean, besides the Phantom Fangtooth, I don't know. I mean, the Phantom Fangtooth that could drop down. I mean, I think just the shards and skins and whatnot should be in the lock store, but that's just me. So we'll move on to the unlock store, page 1. Ship build tokens. I think the same price as last time, about the same number. The CT armor has dropped. It was 8 million last time, correct?
I think so.
Yeah, it was 3 million for the other two. The redeems are the same. I really wish they would push up the X and the M as far as the redeem numbers. Now we have the bounty. We have the bounty turrets at 3.5, which seems like a good price. I think everybody should.
I don't think those were in bounty. Those were in the raid.
The epic cut. Oh wait.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
those three turrets. Okay.
They were never turrets. I think were. Yeah, I don't think they were ever in the bounty. I don't remember them in the bounty, but I remember them in the raid. I think they were originally 5 million.
Yeah.
I think.
Why don't I think that they were in the bounty? I don't know. For some reason, I thought they were in the bounty. Oh, yeah. It's just the adder and.
Yeah, the adder.
The countermeasure were both in the bounty. Not the last bounty, the bounty before, and they were 4 million points each.
Yeah, I thought, because they originated in the bounty. That's what I thought.
Talking about the adder, wasn't the adder come out at the same time with the twin blade?
Yeah, the adder came out in bounty, but I don't think the other ones were in. I mean, the countermeasure one might have been in bounty, but the other two were definitely raid. They weren't in bounty.
And the epic cap, both of those were in not the last bounty that's just gone, but the bounty before.
Yeah, they were in the bounty. They put them in there.
In number 2?
Yeah, number 2.
I don't remember them in number 2 because I got everything in number 2. Oh, you know what? They might have been. Yeah, you might have been able to claim like 1 or 2 of them then, because then we could get the other 3 in the raid. That might have been it.
Yeah, and Apex Hunter. We've talked about before. The Zelo CTX Prime. Which one is that? That's the one. What defenses does that one have?
Who gives a shit? No one wants
concussive and
explosive. Okay, so it's not the Zelo. What's the Zelos?
Com.
The com.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that they didn't add any Zelo tokens and stuff to the.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're getting added in.
To the FM.
They said that no. Oh, is it the FM? They're not putting it in the raid.
FM in tier 3.
Good grief. I mean, that's the first thing that I asked for was Zealous tokens because I want to make Zealous. And honestly, just on principle alone, the Zealous should not be that powerful in the fucking garrison targets. Mm-hmm. That's not the point.
Yeah. All right. Rage, Radon Slinger, yada yada yada. Radon Breeder. I mean, it's a lot of stuff. I'm surprised the Harlock Tide Seeker's here, but the Tide Seeker is the Tide Seeker available in the FM or why is it just the Harlock here?
Is it available in the Foundry?
I don't think so.
Remember.
Not
sure. The Hell Wrath's in the Foundry, I thought.
Yeah, that might be that. I don't know.
Let me check.
Yeah, and they have Tide Seeker 1-day build tokens. I don't know. I can leave it on this one. I need to go get a beer. I'm trying to figure out which.
On the
I'll leave it on this.
On the previous slide, you skipped over the twin blade and whether or not you can redeem 2 or 5.
You could redeem 5.
Redeem 5.
It was already stated.
Yeah.
But I was just wondering the what's it called, the corrosive turret. It came out at the same time as the twin blade, but it isn't in the raid.
No, it was in the last bounty though, so it's been in 2 bounties now. So
has been the twin blade, but
yeah, I know
twin blade's here as well.
Yeah, but has that turret killed anything?
Well, I've heard it was
a pair of them.
Pretty
Yeah,
good.
a pair of them are pretty good. You got 2 of them. I think it does pretty well, but you got to have them set up right. I mean, one of the things that I'm really happy that I see the twin blade in here. I wish they had said something before the end of bounty redemption for people, but I like that the stuff's coming out reasonably quickly,
Yeah.
because that was the that was the biggest concern that people had with bounty. And if you don't participate in bounty because they're saying it's a choice thing, are you going to still be able to get the stuff? And so far, this is the second hull that's come out the raid after the following bounty, right? So it came out in a bounty. We had another bounty, and then the following raid from that second bounty is when it came out, because that's how they did the courage. That's how they did this. So I'm assuming that the King's Writ is going to be in next month's raid, which
Yeah,
would be good. I mean,
I-
it'll be. I mean, I'm just glad that it's getting the stuff's out and available for people, because otherwise, crap.
I have
Although,
to, with being out the game for so long, I picked up the rages in one of the previous bounties, but as soon as you've got one of those Omega cannons in there, they just tear up rages. So I'm back to square one again, even though I've built my rages. Now I'm still struggling to hit anything with an Omega. So it's good that they've walked the twins out so that people have got the ability to hit some of the higher end bases.
yeah, and the thing is I'm glad you mentioned the rages, because like I was slow building mine, and I just stopped because they'd already become obsolete. And that's the one thing that the split of PvE and PvP was supposed to slow down this sort of accelerated changeover and pendulum swing, and it's not. It's gotten just as bad as it was 2 years ago.
No, I think it might slow down. I think it's a lot of it is with OP10 coming out. I mean, if you look at it back when they changed everything and we had the Revenge come out, there's a massive swing then from bases to to the new system of Conquerors and stuff like that. I think because we've stepped up another level now. We've got the OP10, we've got the Omega in there. We're starting to get all of the kind of epic cat mortars and stuff like that. So I think it's a case of it's just a transition from like OP9 to 10, which is just kind of that transition period. It's always going to be hard.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, inside of like a week, if you had a really good Pride fleet, you could still get into a decent amount of bases. Now they're absolutely positively, if there's an Omega cannon in there, don't even bother. I mean, it's the thing is that pendulum has been swinging like crazy again. Where last year, when right after the Revenge came out, that was when they split PvE and PvP, and after that first initial month, everything for the most part was really well balanced for that year. It didn't start getting real bad again until this year, and it's the pendulum swings are just getting a little bit out of hand again, and it needs to come back to a fairly balanced each way. Like if
Yeah,
someone wants to come up and hit like a top end base, and they got to go in and prep it and then hit it and that's fine. But this I win fleet bullshit has got to stop.
yeah, but this
Well,
is
it's
what,
only owned by 300 people across 500 sectors. So,
Well, no, it's something like 560 people had enough to get it.
no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I had I think 100 more bounty than I needed to get it, and I got it. And I think globally I was 5 something.
I thought you posted, maybe the number
I
changed
had
because I
taken
remember.
I had taken a picture. I had taken a picture, and I was at 376 global, and that was like
Okay.
2 minutes after the bounty. But then when I looked at the lifetime bounty thing, actually I take that back. I'm at 487 lifetime bounty, so I don't know if that's corrected or what.
But lifetime bounty is that still fixed? Where is it a combination of all the bounties?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not, because I have 37,880. I'm at
Okay.
487. So I had a little bit more than what was required to get those, and that's almost 500 people that had access to the King's Writ.
Okay.
So it's like an old raid, like one of the original raids where it's one person a sector average out to.
Yeah. Where you could just rule the sea with sea wolves. All right. FM changes. Wait, unless anybody has anything more they want to say about the raid. Because I think once we get to FM changes, it's, everybody's been chomping at the bit for this one.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that it's, I think they're starting to retune to what they're hearing from players. But again, Kixeye's so fucking slow to respond. Like, this is something that should have been done. Like, all these changes to the prices.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's still not quite enough, but it's getting it lower to where, it might be manageable for people. Whereas before, you were grinding the whole damn time or you weren't getting everything you wanted. Now, like, this should have happened 4 months ago. This is where it should have started, I think. These are the prices where they should have started at and not be where they're at now.
Yeah, and my only complaint is the limit on the old, the limit of 3.
We're getting more TLCs. I'm sure they're, who the hell knows?
Oh, as far as getting church armor. No, I just think the limit of 3 on the S targets is.
Oh, that, yeah. Now that one, yeah, 5 or 10, I think would have been a little bit better.
Or even unlimited, because there's a lot of people that maybe didn't fully participate in the past raid or were built. See, the problem is there's all those people that were building for that target, and now they couldn't do it last time. Now they built for that target and they can do it 3 times, and now boom, yeah, now you're forced to deal with additional
completely different target on top of it too.
Yeah, because that's what I always liked. If they had the raid cycle where it was, you start off relatively easy with the S target, and then the second raid, you kept the S target, and then you added another one that was more difficult.
Right.
You could still do the old S target and then transition to the next one. You knew you had intel on what that was going to be, and allowed you to, even if you aimed at a target, you could aim at a target and then test a target and then build for that next target. But this doesn't allow you to do that with any real efficiency.
Well, I think, the other thing too, I don't know that we're going to see a third target, because now that they've split it to the 2 fleets and made them fleet specific, I think all we're going to see is escalation instead. And, I'm just hoping that they didn't, like, if these targets are escalated to the point where they should be in the 3rd raid rather than the 2nd raid, I don't think now would be a very bad time to pull that off. I mean, that's just, I don't know. I mean, but like I said, I think there's some good movement finally, but again, this is probably where they should have started out with these prices rather than gotten here now. Oh yes, let's get condescended to. This is awesome.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple things. This happened right before the show started, and I didn't have a chance to read everything through, because I had actually, right before this was posted, I asked Rampage, "Are you going to drop any news before the show's over?" And then 15 minutes later, he posts back the link to this. And then I read through it briefly, and I'm like, so there's no changes to the 115 target? He's like, no, there's no changes planned at this time for the 115 target. Which, if you're waiting for them to change it, because it's like, the 115 target is like, I can imagine them like, haven't all these players been at the meetings and seen how wonderful the 115 target is? How can they not understand how wonderful this target is, where the garrison equipment that we provided them is woefully ill-equipped to deal with the ships in this target. And, we're going to go through all this crap that they're doing to try and fix it, but why do we have to bring in assault fleets? Why do we have to go ballistic when you click the info on these things and it says explosive? I mean, I just don't. I mean, the info is just bullshit at this point. I mean, they have no weakness to explosive. their weaknesses, I mean, maybe those little buildings in the back that glow purple provide some sort of aura to those turrets in the front. I don't know. We don't know. They used to. But at this point, I don't know. We'll get into that. But right now, it appears that the best fleet still is a ballistic Zelos or somebody using gut spills, skyfires and icebreakers, or it's outside the box, which we sort of asked for, but we've been trained to this keep on telling us as we get through these slides. The best way to do it is mortars with Zeloses and Zeloses with countermeasures and monoliths with mortars, and it's all bullshit. Especially, too bad Brian's here because he's the one that's most upset when GDA told us that we didn't know how to build Conqueror fleets, and we'll see quite quickly that Kixeye doesn't know how to build PvE fleets.
They don't know how to build. Yeah, I mean, look, I love and I absolutely love Earth's friggin' builds for the thing. My issue with it is on principle and fundamentally that is not what's supposed to be doing the target. It's supposed to be a garrison target. Our top choices for that are the monoliths and the icebreakers. That should be the top performing two hulls. The fact that they're not is an issue in and of itself.
It's a large issue with me.
Because because the thing is, people have invested so much damn time and stuff, and the 113. I mean, that's what the go-to fleet was.
Yeah, I mean that's what we've been told, and then now they're changing it towards the end. For what reason? I mean,
well, that's the thing. We only have 5 months left on this, 4 months left on this. So why in the hell are you changing it this much? I mean, they keep on saying that they want to take a holistic approach to the game, and that all the changes should be organic and this and that, and this is not either of those things.
Yeah, and even if people get it down, I mean, I've seen some, like I think, I mean, I'm afraid to build ballistic Zelos. Afraid they're going to change the target.
Yeah,
and we're at that point where it's such a trust deficit and such a information vacuum as far as what they plan to do that I'm locked up on what to do with this. I mean, because I don't have that many Zealous tokens. I got one day Zealous token.
Can I just come in on this? Right. So I basically built my ballistic Zelos predominantly for the countermeasure side of things. I built them as a tank to start off with the view of putting monos in with them. Obviously, using the quake cannon front, I realised that because for the spotting range on it and the speed. So I kind of just realised that was what it was doing some damage to it. So that's why I went down that route. So kind of, I think what I'm trying to say really is that even though it's worked out that the ballistic side of it is probably one of the better ways of doing it, it actually come through using it as a CM tank. So it's kind of doing the job that it was designed for, because it shoots down every single any incoming from any of the turrets. So
stacked with other Zealous. That's the catch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you can do it with
that stack. It doesn't perform as well with just one.
Yeah,
it doesn't. I mean, I've gotten the 115 down to I think like an hour and 15 minutes of damage driving stacked with a Zealous tank and monoliths, right? And that's good enough for me because I get my FM done. And I'm a lazy bastard, and I don't want to drive, and I don't want to do all this crazy ass shit that everyone's doing with, different hulls and going in and out and all that. Screw that. It's the FM. I want to get the damn thing in there. I want to get in, and I want to get the fucking thing done. I have icebreakers that'll do it for an hour and a half of damage, and I have the Zealous mono fleet that'll do it for an hour and 15. I can hit one with the Zealous Mono, and then I can, because the Zealous Mono takes about 10 minutes to run, right? Like 10 minutes. I think I've gotten it down to like 9 something. But the Icebreaker fleet will do it in 5 freaking minutes. It'll do an entire target in 5 minutes. I mean, that's the kind of time I want to blow on a chore. And that's the problem, is this is not only a chore, but it's been changed in such a way that it's at least tripled our time requirement for just this aspect of the game.
It's not a chore, it's a job.
That's what it's starting to feel like.
Well, it is. I mean, you add up everything we got to do, it's ridiculous. There's no time for fun.
I mean, look, here's the thing. They keep promising that they have something coming out to reduce our chores, right? And
They've
that's all
always
well and
promised that
good.
crap, and they don't do
Look,
it.
that's all well and good. But if they do actually have something that's coming out for that should have been released first. Okay? And then you talk about the FM change. You let people see, you give them a transition period. I mean, this is not how you run a game. It's asinine, right? And in terms of the chore reduction, it better be a chore elimination, because with the amount of time that we're going to have to spend on the fucking FM, no one's happy. I mean, this is the thing, is nobody is happy right now.
Yeah, and you know, and well, you said you're happy with an hour and 15 minutes that you need to do, you know.
Yeah, I mean, in context,
13 of them. And it's
yeah,
like,
see, that's the catch. That is a catch right there.
and imagine if you know, if we're gonna have, you know, Garrus and TLCs, and you're doing the bounty, and you know, it's
and
way
that timer,
too much.
and that timer on the damn chests. That's a pain in the ass too.
Wow, we're going to shorten that by 1 week, though. We're going to go back to a full 6 hours.
That timer shouldn't even be on there. I mean, look, I wrote that damn article, and I tried to come up with numbers that were at least somewhere in the middle, and I think it would have worked out. I played with those the prize amounts and the time and all that other stuff, and I was leaving the 115 the way it was. And instead, they give us what, a 20% increase in points. Was it even a 20% increase? 25,000 on 250,000?
No.
25,000 extra, and you get a reduction of 20% on the cost of prizes.
Yeah, see that second part. The second part I ignore entirely, because there's no cap on the tier on the prize pool. So they might go, okay, well, we're going to reduce it 20% this week, right? But then next week it's going to be an extra 1 million points for whatever the fuck we want to get. And Lord knows if they come up with something that's, you know, they think is phenomenal, and it'll be like, you know, 6 million points for it. I really hate the fact that there's no top like level point cap on each of those prize pools. That's just ripe for abuse. Now the first part, they've reduced, or they've increased the points. How much of an increase was that?
It's a 10% increase on the 115 and a 25% increase on the 103.
Okay, so we got a 10% increase.
And the
So
89,
that's a 10% reduction. So from 300%, we're down to like 290. So it's still almost 3 times as long to do the FM. I mean, and that's if you know, have your shit repairing and are able to go back to back to back. I mean, you can't do that like you could in the other FM with the 113. I mean, no matter which way you slice it, this is not a good thing for the community, for the game in its entirety.
Oh no, I agree. I agree in the amount of time that it takes when you add that into everything else that we've got to do, like base parts, uranium, getting titanium, all that kind of shit. You're not left with a lot of time to enjoy yourself, going out and hitting a few bases, or, you know, sniping fleets, or whatever you do. You know, whatever makes you happy at the end of the day. So yeah, I agree. I think there should have been a bit more of a tweak on the points and obviously the payout as well. But what I always thought as well is that it would have been nice if they'd have put in, because of the way that they've changed it, just a fully built Zelo in tier 3 or 4.
See, now something like that would have made everything a little bit more palatable. If they went, hey, you know what? This is such a change, and we know that everyone's going to have to refit. Here's a ship already built.
Yeah.
Do with it what you will. That kind of shit and I don't know if that even goes through their brains, but that would have made this so much better than what it is now. I mean, even an open preview a couple weeks ahead, so people had a chance to even start something to be
Well,
ready.
even if they'd left the 113s in and put them in at 125,000 points or whatever, half of what the 115 is, just as a stopgap, like they've done with everything else, where they've brought in targets and they've put half of the old targets, half of the new targets in for like a month, so you get used.
That was the transition thing, and I specifically asked for that.
Yeah,
And I was completely ignored. I mean, the thing is I think I came up with when I was messing with it, I think I came up with, because I was trying to get it back to where it's not going to take that much time, and I put the 113 in for like 150,000 points and the 115 in at 500,000 points. So it would go 500 for the 115, 150 for the 113, 75 for the 103, 30,000 for the 88, which should be back in there, 50 for the 89, keep it the way it is. I mean, like, there should be options out there for the players, and the FM should not take as long as it does now.
I agree. There's not many options available. If you want to be hitting tier 5, you've got to be hitting the 115s, really. The amount of time that it takes you to grind now with the new targets.
Oh, and on actually, that's a good point. If they're going to be changing the stuff like that 89 and everything, the Trident needs to be in prize pool 1 or 2. I mean, that shouldn't even be a discussion. That should have already been done. Trident in prize pool 1 or 2, the Monolith and Icebreaker in prize pool 2 or 3. None of this TLC bullshit.
I reckon they should have just given everybody the Trident in a chest.
Yeah, that would have been good too. That would have been really good. But I mean, that's what I mean. Is like the basic necessities to do the stuff that they're asking us to do, instead of making it available to the players. They're like, oh, we're going to give you a TLC to do. Motherfucker, we do not want more chores to try and help us get equipped to do other chores that you just changed that aren't balanced. I mean, it's not our job to fix your unbalanced mess.
Well, the other thing, the other way that I see it as well is that you're asking someone to do get up to tier 3 in order to get something that they need to get to tier 3 is kind of a bit upside down for me as well.
Say that again?
So you're asking someone to get to tier 3 to get the Trident?
No, Trident should be in prize pool 1 or 2, and then the Icebreaker and Monolith may be in prize pool 2 or 3.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying about Kickstarter. You're asking the player base to get to tier 3 to get the Trident, which is something that they're going to need in order to get to tier 3 anyway.
Is the Trident in the FM? I thought it wasn't in the FM. Or are you talking about prize pool 5 and the new one? Earth?
Oh, sorry. I'm just kind of putting out there. That's the kind of way that they're thinking, really.
Oh, the catch. Are you talking about like the catch 22 that they do? That you need to do this in order to get this, but you need this in order to get that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, that drives me fucking nuts.
You need the ship to win the ship.
Yeah, that's so. Like, yeah, I don't. That's just dumb. I don't know why they feel the need to eviscerate like the player base, but you want to empower the player base, because when we have fun, I'm gonna tell you what. When we have fun, we're gonna coin. I got no problem with it if I'm enjoying what I'm doing. But I don't want to give you guys. I don't want to buy coin if I'm pissed off all the time. Fuck that.
Yeah. Let's go through some of the FM changes. They're running defensive arts next week.
Oh, yay. More chores.
So because it's also, I'm wondering how this is going to play relative to VXP weekend. There's not too much actually a lot. There's not too much really to rank up unless you're. I mean, because it's easy to rank up. It's really easy if you go back and listen to some of the previous shows. It's easy to rank up the Fang's Tooth, and relatively easy to rank up the Hunters. If you have a mega ship, Daniel, are you eating?
No, he's muted.
A mega ship.
Okay, somebody's eating. To generate Conqueror VXP tokens.
Oh yeah, that still hasn't gotten fixed.
Whatever. It's on the list. It's on the list. We're looking into it.
Good grief.
And so basically, what you're really, because you can do the damage free. It takes some time. And then all we're left, is like I said, the Phantom Gluttony to rank up. Unless you got other stuff that's still sitting around. Maybe you want to rank up your Inquisitors, which is also a Conqueror Hall. So I don't know if this is that bad, but I really dislike it when they hit us with 3 TLCs so far that we've announced to run over VXP weekend. Well, we're also going to be doing the new FM.
Right, but I mean, here's
Bounty.
the thing. Someone remind me, one, what Defensive Arch was, and two, again, we're running 3 TLCs just so. I mean, you have to run the TLCs in order to get the stuff to deal with something
FM
that they changed. I mean, this is the thing. They changed it. Why didn't they come up? One, why didn't they? If they wanted to get it to this point, why didn't they come out with it and have it balanced to what people were already using? Okay,
George, it's even simpler than that. It's simpler than that. They still don't give you what you need to finish the FM to get what you need. They got the hulls, they got the specials.
That's the whole point of what I just said. Why didn't it come out already balanced to what we had? Instead, it's balanced to something that we have to refit to. And then instead of giving us the stuff like Earth said in the early prize pools, guess what? You get to run TLCs. And which one is Defensive Arts?
It is the one for the Apollo, Skyfire Carrier, or Phoenix.
Can you get through the whole thing with Apollos?
I recall it being really easy.
Well, that'll be a plus at least. I know the Icebreaker and Monolith call arms, but a lot of people are getting pissed off because they're like, we need charged and da-da-da. Hefe, your mic is like going in and out, by the way.
Okay. Not any better?
No, it's fine, but when it's like, if you're talking for any length of time, it's like, it's skipping or something, or freezing up or something. I don't know what it is. Sounds like a connection thing.
Okay.
But, again, why are we going to have to run TLCs? I don't want to do more fucking chores. I have enough chores. I'm going to be coming out of the raid. I'm going to probably need titanium. I'm probably going to need, I probably won't need uranium, but I'll need base parts. I'm going to have to get my alliance points, and I'm going to have to do the FM. Right?
Yeah. So
you don't have to do these TLCs though. I mean, if you have enough charged armors, and if you have enough of if you have the other stuff, I mean, you really need to do it.
If I already have the stuff, I don't need to do it. If I'm at the point where I don't need to do it, because I don't need to do it. But that's not the point. The point is that their response, their answer to the issue of their own mess up, is to make the players work for it.
Yeah. Because the first one, the Defensive Arts TLC, if you want to do them, the Defensive Arts TLC allows you to earn the charged armors. The Icebreaker and Monolith Call to Arms gives you some of the build tokens to put them on. So, unless you have, I'm not sure what's going on.
What the hell was that? Is someone watching or something?
I don't know.
Is that Kevin? Rum, is that you?
No.
He's
everyone else is muted.
Yeah. What? It's not me. They may be muted now. They may have let the sound out and then muted themselves.
Right.
I'm not doing anything.
Right. Yeah. Shut the midget porn off and pay attention to the show.
I am paying attention to the show. Where are you? You're the one that's got it going on in the background.
Dude, my mic mutes automatically.
Right. So does your brain?
My brain's been
Is
muted for
like,
years.
Saying who's watching porn.
yes. Alrighty. Okay, and then the addition of the Zealous tokens to prize pool 3. Previously, a lot of times it's 3 days, which would be nice. Because prize pool 3 is fairly cheap to get. And the normal bonus prize is a 1-day structure token. So it'd be cool if it'd be 3 days or so. I mean, it doesn't get you one bill.
I still think, I'm not being funny, right? But if they wanted to kind of chill everybody out a bit, just put in a fully loaded CELO with an anti-build on it in prize pack 3.
Yeah, and one of our builds, not one of their builds. But yeah, that would chill out a lot of people.
Yeah, you know, and then because then it's one thing that's less that you've got to put in there.
Yeah.
You know, it's all right saying, you know, they're not all right. They're not very long build time, really, realistically. But it's the fact that you've got to get one out, so you know you're not going to have a chance to rank it in the VXP weekend if it's not going to come out until after the raid. You know, you're not going to be able to even get a shell in and out without coining it before the VXP weekend. So, you know, the ideal solution that I would see would be to, you know, offer a fully kitted out Zero, or even if it's a blank hole but ranked, you know, as a price in the price pack 3.
I mean, and you know, here's the thing too: is the people that are running the Zealous and Mono combo, right? If that was actually offered out there, and this is why I was saying that the 1 hour and 15 minutes was okay for me, because I plan on swapping out my tank, right? It's either that or that 2 Zealous build that I showed you guys before is probably going to be the thing that I'm going to switch to. But the catch is in order to actually be able to play that FM, to be able to do that FM and within the time constraints that you have, because like I said before, you know, you start it, you're starting it, the clock's running, and if I have an afternoon free on Wednesday and then I can't get back to it on Saturday, until Saturday, I'm fucked, right? So if you have 2 or 3 tanks, you cycle through them, or 2 or 3 fleets, which is, you know, apparently, unfortunately, the norm. But I don't know, the way the implementation was just, I think that's probably the biggest problem that the whole thing is the implementation. And then, you know, no knock on Rampage, but those posts are like, they're coming off condescending as all hell to the community. And I don't know what your bosses are thinking, but they just gotta stop.
I mean,
They just gotta stop.
I wouldn't go condescending. It's just,
yeah, it is.
We're expecting an answer that we're not getting is partly coloring your view.
The fact that they're ignoring the actual issues that have been brought forth and propounded by the entirety of the community, the fact that it's completely ignored on its face is condescending. I mean, that is what it is. I
wouldn't, you know, because the real thing that we want out of these targets is them to become garrison targets, like they've been training us to do for a long time. And now, you know, as I recall from the video after this announcement, they put in Earth's ballistic Zillos build, which is what we thought they were trying to get out of this, you know, remove from this and get back to what it says as far as the information. Its weakness is explosive. It's da 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 da.
Yeah, but
it's not true. It's not true anymore.
It still gets to a simple point of when there's no communication. We don't know what they wanted to get rid of. We don't know what their objective was. We just got a target here.
None of that matters. Like I said before, no, it doesn't. I love Earth's build. However, it's a garrison target, and the top hulls for the garrison targets are supposed to be the monos and the icebreakers. The fact that they are not is the issue in and of itself. I don't give a shit what they wanted to get rid of or what they wanted to do or what anything is. That's the damn base issue in and of itself.
You react to what they put in there, which is what Earth did, which is what we all should.
I understand that, but that's not the basic issue. You have to boil down the issue to what it actually is.
Yeah, I did. It's lack of communication.
It's not lack of communication. It's that the target's not designed for what we have, what we're supposed to have.
Well,
know,
it's
but it's like
I mean, back in the day, look, back in the day, they never communicated shit to us, and we still were able to do it. But we had a kind of general idea of stuff, and things worked the way that they were supposed to be released for the most part. As the game has gotten more complicated, you know, things happen. I understand that, but the problem is when we're like, hey, we're given this target. This target is going to be, like Hefe said, explosive. Like you want to have a mortar fleet in it, this and that. The mortar fleet's not the highest performing fleet in that target. The damn icebreaker's not the highest performing fleet in that target. A fucking generalist ballistic fleet is the best performing thing in that target. I mean, Irf, what did you get? What did you get it down to, Irf? Is it like instant repair on the map now?
I can if I come in and out, but in one hit I can get it down to about 18 minutes.
That's asinine. That's asinine. The best, I think I actually have the best Zealous mono time on the thing at 1 hour and 15, and that compared to instant on the map repair is fucking asinine.
All I can say is that we have done it, and we've been working different ways of doing it. Obviously I already had those Zelos built, but like I said earlier on, I built them for the countermeasure side of things, not for actually like destroying the target. And
I understand that, but that's I'm taking a step back further to the design, and to what our expectation is based on what we earned and what we've invested in building.
Oh, I agree, but you've got to also realise that Zelos is by far the best countermeasure ship in the game.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. It shouldn't be the gridiron should be, but it is, and we've taken advantage of it. I mean, we've exploited that duality countermeasure thing. But again, the best performing fleet in the target right now is a ballistic Zealous fleet, not a tank mono fleet.
But you can use Zelos mono fleet with a gut spill carrier, and that will bring you damage down.
Again, it's going beyond what it's supposed to, though. That's my issue. Is that's a design flaw. If that's what we have to do, that is a design flaw. This is the FM. It's not a raid. It's not a. I mean, this is the FM. That's a design flaw. If that's what we have to do.
The main issue that I think with the target, the actual main problem of it is obviously none of the garrison hulls have got high enough resistances and deflection against those missiles, because the missiles on the Apollos are so overpowered that you're kind of forced to bring in an assault tank, really.
Yep. Yes. No, that's true. That's absolutely true.
If you had it so that they attacked the base like they used to in the 113s, then we wouldn't have this issue. We could still use our garrison fleets in there. We might need little tweaks here and there, and you'd be well away.
Which goes back to, it's a design issue.
It's the design issue, yeah. It's obviously the main issue with it is that fleet, now it's attacking you, and it's had its damage ramped up, forces you to have to bring in a different type of ship in order to get your damage down, because the actual statistics on the mono and the icebreaker just aren't high enough to reduce the damage down enough.
I mean, I still think, after running all the numbers, I still think that they could leave the FM the way it is, so long as they changed the points and changed what's available in the FM. Put the 115, 500,000 points. Put the 113 back in this so people can grind. Put that in for 150,000 points. 103, 75. I mean, all that stuff makes sense, and it still engages us. It still makes us want to do the thing. For the love of God, please put the Trident in prize pack 1 or 2, especially with the change to the 89. I mean, a lot of this stuff is all implementation issues too.
Put it in a chest and give it to the entire population.
That would work too. I mean, again, but what we keep on going back and forth on, it's not even that we could keep on going, but we're revolving around the way that this was implemented into the game. And I think that is in the base value what has just pissed off everybody. It was a crappy ass rollout. There was no transitional period, and now everyone feels like they're trying to catch up. And oh, surprise, we have a raid because they did this right the week before the raid. So catch up raid, and then a bunch of TLCs, and then I mean, this is the kind of angst that just ruins communities.
Yeah, I've so you guys could have some more fun. I put out I put up the slide for the builds.
I want to see a video of these builds that they proposed. I want to see a video. I want to see how well it does, because that's going to give me a base value of what they think is acceptable in these targets. And I can almost guarantee you, actually, I can guarantee you, what Kixeye thinks is acceptable damage is not going to be anybody's idea of acceptable damage. We saw that in the Reaver raid with the R16, whatever the hell it was.
It was a Scourge raid.
I'm sorry, the Scourge raid. I'm sorry, you're right.
Scourge raid, yeah.
Scourge raid.
Yeah.
R16, whatever the hell it was, and it was 3 hours of damage and repaired
No,
3
it's way
times.
more. It was
more than that.
Way more. He lost two. He lost to. It was a 3 set raids, 3 target raids, raid target, and he lost 2 fleets in the first one, and these were the V2s.
Yeah. Raken, I love you. I love you to death, man. But damn, that's a classic forever. As long as the game is up, that's gonna be a classic reference point. Because, I mean, and honestly, I think that's that's one of the issues, is that that's the kind of acceptable damage that they see that we do not even come close to agreeing on.
I assumed it was a rookie hazing thing because he was brand new. It's like, oh, okay, let's take the rookie and make him make this video. That's the way I sort of saw it. But
I want to see, I want to see these. I want to see these things in a target, because I'll tell you right now, 2 charged M's, that thing's gonna be dead before the end of the fucking target. Because I have 4, and my charge is like, I have a hair of charge left on my Zealous at the end of the 115. And I have 4 of those damn things on. 2 of them is not going to survive. That thing's going to die right there.
Yeah, and these aren't necessarily. I mean, I guess they're assuming older tech, because well, if you look at it, this is all old relic. Well, they have the limited agility 4. Mm-hmm. Which, why would you put agility 4 as opposed to Scrambler 3?
I don't know. But look, the evade bonus is only 56.
And why are you not using Speed System 6 as opposed to Speed System 5? Is there a reason behind that?
I don't know. I run Speed System 4 on mine.
And we're supposed to assume the evade upgrade is going to counter the accuracy of the Rhino's missiles.
It does not, because I've tested that, and I have tested it with crews, with evade crews. That's not. That's why I'm saying that build right there. Oh shit! It's a gridirons too. No, that thing's gonna be dead before. Yeah, way before the end of the thing.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna run this, why aren't you running the? Why are you running like the ship? Either the ship or structure deflection. If you're gonna split this thing up, that second evade. Well, you shouldn't be putting agility 4 here. There's no reason behind it. But you should just use Gun Scrambler 3. But aren't you better off with either structure or the 200, the new one, the 200 ship or structure deflection in that spot as opposed to evade upgrade? Depends on how you're going to run it. But you're going to be better off with the additional, I would assume, with the additional structure deflection.
The lack of...
I don't even know that would... I don't even know if that would even make a difference, dude.
No,
the lack of phalanx on those is the major.
Yes, I was about to say that.
Because, what seems to do the most damage is the
missiles.
It's the missiles, yeah. It's the Deadeyes.
Problem is that new countermeasure outranges the phalanx, so putting on phalanx would be kind of redundant, because they'd never shoot.
I think you'll find that they actually do, because I refitted one of my ships up with it.
I mean, I have 2 on my Zealous. I just don't know that they actually fire.
Another thing that I've said is the gridiron doesn't have a countermeasure accuracy. It has only anti-missile accuracy boost. So, I mean, this isn't as good as the Zelos tank, even with the countermeasures.
But then again, that's another design flaw in the fact that, you know, if you're going to use it as a garrison tank, then it needs to have, you know, some sort of countermeasurability on it.
Well, we've said that since it came out. I mean, I think
Yeah.
that's one of the first things that I said when it did come out, because I was using it, and yeah, no, when they changed it, it was fine. If they had left it, if they had left the mechanic alone, where you could still drive just slightly stacked, you know, people
Yeah.
would probably still be kind of using this. The problem is 2 days before the raid, they decided to go, oh yeah, we've seen how you guys have built this and are driving, and we don't like the way that you're doing it, so we're going to change the mechanic on the gridiron so you can't drive like that anymore. 2 days before the raid, in which case, that's when I think I actually said it live. I was like, fuck it, I'm going to exploit the Zealous then. I mean,
Well,
the hell with it.
I mean, at the end of the day, you have no real choice but to, you know, if you look at the stats for that and you look at the stats for a Zealous, you're not going to choose that over a Zealous. If you're going
No, because there's no benefit to it. Whereas before, if you drove them and that field was right behind the grid like it was supposed to be, because you know that's how the Wake Tactical worked too. Then yeah, you might want to use one over the other because you get that huge buff in damage. But now, yeah, there's no, like, the gridiron's like the worst. I mean, that's probably the biggest fail of the year, I think, other than this FM.
So, I mean, realistically, the Zelos is by far the best countermeasure ship in the game. It's something that you've got to, you know, a lot of people have taken advantage of it. So, kind of saying that it's required. Everybody already kind of seen that it was required because of the stat difference between that and like the gridiron, for instance. You know,
Yeah.
an ice is a rush fleet, so that's different again. It's kind of, you know, I don't know what's the best way to put it really.
I don't know that anyone could actually even argue the fact that the Zealous is the best. I mean, the Zealous is easily by far the best CM tank in the entirety of the game.
So you've also got to look at the fact that of the definition of a generalist hull is to do general tasks. You know, FM is part of one of those general tasks. So,
well, no, the generalist, that's not what they were meant to be. They were meant to be a stopgap between getting you in position to get the top tier hulls. That's what the generalist role was. It was never meant to do what it's doing.
It was supposed to be the generalist was supposed
Is that your
to be-
interpretation, or do you have that from somewhere written?
I
Because the
believe
generalist is exactly what Irv said it was.
I believe I think that was posted in the forums when they came out.
No, it was predicted exactly the way Irv said it. A
Actually,
generalist
no.
hull to do generalist tasks.
No,
Right,
It was,
at a reduced efficiency
Am I on?
of anything else. Yeah, you're on.
okay. Look, it was meant to be a ship that you build with. It had a long build time, but then every single raid type you were supposed to refit it with the new weapon type, with the new deflection type or whatever it is, and
take
just
less time to build.
and take less time to build than the
Refit.
reg- than
And
the yeah.
perform worse than the others. That was in there.
one worse than
No,
that.
it wasn't supposed to perform worse.
Yes,
than
it
the
was.
others.
It was supposed to be at a reduced efficiency than the hulls that were actually meant to do the targets.
Yeah, slightly.
We should probably
Let's
Not
skip
slightly
over,
reduced.
we should probably skip over this because there are posts about this, so we can talk about that on Friday, where they told us how the role of the generalist. But yeah, I think we're mixing assumptions based on what they said with what they actually said. So I don't know if we're being terribly productive here.
Yeah,
So monolith build. This one's
it's fairly standard, but it just doesn't have the right mortar
Well-
and
the right what?
it doesn't have the right mortar. Oh, and it doesn't have charged armor.
Yeah, it doesn't have charged armor. And I don't know why you put the Phalanx 2 on this one, unless you're stacking them. I don't. I mean, because in the 115s, it seems like the arc missiles or doing more damage for it not to have charged. I'm
Yeah, but again, you can get around that by using the right amount of phalanxes and the right amount of and same with the mortars. You need the right amount of gales on there.
Oh, and if you're behind in the fields of the gridiron, you don't need it because they're basically invincible back there.
so far we've seen this gridiron monolith and the monolith. I am seriously doubting that this combination is able to make it through a single 115 as built.
Yeah, it's not a very good build.
No, and
No.
the damage output I don't think is high enough either. I mean, they're using the over under, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's where Daniel said they had the wrong mortar on it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
just
Yeah, they're building it at lower tech.
there goes your mic again.
Yeah, there it goes.
That kind of was not there.
And
Hello?
now,
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't even think with this build the D85 is going to get it done. With that tank, I don't see it getting it done one
No.
time.
No,
And that's what? How many hours of repair?
yeah, it's a lot.
So,
It's just yeah.
all right. Icebreaker.
This is all wrong.
So first of all, you've got no tridents on there, so you're going to take a massive amount of explosive damage.
Yep.
You've got no phalanx on there. The dead eye's going to rip you in your ass. What else?
Not enough charged armor.
And charged armor. The
Not
ship's
enough
going
charged
to rip you in your ass. So yeah.
I mean, what I don't understand is they know builds that work in these targets, right? They have the data, they have access to everything that we got. Why didn't they pick like some really good builds to put up here? I don't want to put tinfoil hat on, but why in the hell do we have shit builds up here? And why don't we have a video showing how, if these things actually tinfoil it off? Why is there no videos?
I want to see these builds in action. I
Me
mean,
too.
if everybody was probably willing to ante up a certain amount of gold, we could probably see these builds in action.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe, if I was allowed, me and George were allowed to be on the forums, we could put a poll up, like, or even like a fund me page.
We'll donate to a low level. That is
No, just for them to put videos of how these builds actually perform in the targets.
I tell you what
Well,
I'll do is I've got loads and loads and loads and loads of icebreaker tokens, right? I'll refit mine.
No.
You know what? If Earth doesn't do it, I'm gonna actually, because that's a great idea.
Yeah.
well, and we're the one that produced crap bills. Remember,
Mm-hmm.
You know,
how many times has that been said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, at least PvP we do.
because we've got the icebreaker campaign next week as well. So we're going to have plenty of tokens to take it back to what it was. So we'll just crack on with that, and we'll see how this works. And I'm going to tell you, it's not going to get any further than a third of the way through the target.
Yeah, this is not. It's counterproductive what they've done here with these builds. I mean, because the builds that, at least anybody that listens to the show spends the effort to do the research, not necessarily because you listen to the show, but you spend the time to do the research and listen to the show, you're going to have better builds than all the ones that they've provided here. And I don't know. Let's see. What do we got now? I still don't. They keep.
Well,
I don't know.
for a start on there is far too many gales on there. Across two Zeros, I have got 6 gales in total of Gale 2 across 2 Zeros, and 2 Phalanx 4s. So you could be adding extra tridents on that.
Yeah, that's a hell of a lot of friggin'. I mean, 1, 2.
That's a lot of charge armor.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Anti-mortars. Holy
You
crap.
don't need 9 anti-mortars. You need 6 Gale 2s in total.
Yeah, I mean that's insane.
Probably,
And
you could probably use 4 3s, and that'll do you.
yeah,
Stick the rest of tridents on there, or use sprints.
this this
why?
charged M thing, like I have 4 charged M on mine, and you can see the videos. It's almost gone, if not completely gone, by the time I finish the target.
Also, what I'll say as well is that the MX3 armor is pointless. The only reason that it's on there is because you've not got enough tridents or sprints on there to take out all of the targets. So if you've got 6 tridents on there with fully ranked Zelos, that will take out every single one of those cold snaps. If you hit
But why?
individually.
But why does it take it? Because the cold snap has a salvo of 10 that's going to be spread out over 2 seconds.
I don't even know if it's a cold snap because I got hit. Like there was some testing I did where I got hit and there was no cold snap field when I got hit.
Yeah,
And I lost a lot of damage. I mean, I got a lot of damage from that damn thing.
but that might have been the other rocket in the
No, it was a standalone cold snap sitting all by itself.
Well, if it was all by itself, you should be able to outrange it.
No, I was doing it I was purposely getting in range. It was one of the things I was testing, but I got no cold snap effect at all.
I was reading the YouTube chat. We'll see if Mary gets banned from the forums.
Oh boy. I mean, there's a whole lot of bars in the forums and a lot of stuff getting closed that's still. There are threads in the forums that are still active and are actually a good discussion, and they're getting closed. I mean, Rampage, if you're still out there, man, you got to rein in somebody. I'm just saying.
No, but he posted a poll based on our discussion in the forum.
Oh no, did he?
That's what he said.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I wonder, which discussion was it based on?
I'm assuming wanting Kickside to actually show a video using these builds to.
Oh, someone already asked for that. I mean, someone asked for that a couple minutes. It was already asked as I was reading that damn that post, and there was not a single response.
Yeah. All right.
Funny.
Let's see. I guess I can end this. I mean, as far as the Zelos build, ton of charged armors, yes. And it's weird that all the other ones had speed system 5, and this one's got 6. And you've taken the fastest ship they have, and you made it faster. I don't understand that nonsense.
That doesn't make sense either. I mean, my 2 Zelos that I use as my tanks haven't got any armor at all on them. It's all about having the right countermeasure set up.
Yeah,
and that's clearly wrong.
And I think I'm just thinking, the more I see some of these videos, I think I'm dropping one of the monos, and I'm gonna try that. If I can get enough tokens, I'm gonna try that 2 Zealous tank. I think that the stacked accuracy might be just enough to make the difference when targeting those missiles. Because there are some videos that I'm seeing with 4 or 5 Zealous that are just destroying those missiles in midair.
Yep.
And I think the only thing that I can figure is that stacked accuracy buff.
Mm-hmm. It's more than 5%.
Yeah, I mean, with 2 of them, it's definitely better than 1, but you can do it with 1.
It doesn't come out as good with just 1. The thing is, you're going from an additional 5 to now 10%. I mean, when they got 5 of them, that's an extra 25% accuracy. I mean, crap, that's significant.
Oh, agreed. Yeah, at the end of the day, if you put 5 of my Zelos in, 4, and then put a com prime in there with charged armor just to tank, it's
with the com, do you get the bonus?
Yeah, you get a pen bonus, don't you? I think it works out.
I'm saying with the Zelos com and the Zelos, do you get the bonus?
Yeah, it's for every Zelos in the fleet, including the com. So you get You get 200 ship and structure deflection plus 25% penetrative deflection.
Well, I've got a half-ass built Zelos comm, so I can test it out real quick.
All right, I've highlighted what Mary's done in the forum. So everybody go out there and vote.
Yeah. Also, just want to add that on that post, my video is on the post that's on the forum, of me doing it with my Zelos. So if you want to have a look there, and it's got the Huggies link on it as well for the fleet that I used.
Yeah, I mean,
That's part of it that you might want to read, not the rest of it.
but you see the irony in that, right, Irv? Where they're recommending all these ships, and then you were, I mean, I don't know how many videos they had now, but there was 2 videos, and one of them was yours. And yours, like, you just took what they said and it's like, this is irrelevant. You know, I'm going to use ballistic Zelos.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to deal with that. I mean, it was put up by a moderator, but it's like they weren't paying any attention to what was actually in the video. Okay, he did a good job here, but this has nothing to do with what we're telling the player base to do. This is, pretty much the opposite of what we're telling them to do.
Yeah, it's kind of, I think it's just adding sort of a bit of diversity to the fleets that you can use for it.
Yeah.
It's kind of going against the ethos of having generalist and then having a specialised hull, like, for example, for garrison, for siege, for assault targets, etc., etc. Yeah, it's kind of, yeah.
I mean, the funny thing is that they through their own actions acknowledged that there was a problem with the generalists overperforming. Right? They added those buildings in the last 2 raids, right? Well, not the last one, but the 2 before prior to that, right? In the tier 7 stuff, so you couldn't hit them with generalists. I mean, their own actions said, "Hey, yeah, we know that they're overperforming," and yet they changed the FM and make the generalists the most powerful fleet you can use. It's frustrating. On top of everything else, I don't know.
I think that really the main issue with it is that, it's still with the FM, is the amount of time that it takes and points is the main issue. We can find ways around doing the actual target. We are going to diversify and find the best way of doing it.
Yes.
But it's the actual time that it takes in order to do the targets. It's all ass in chair time that we haven't got when we've got 55 million other things that we're going to have to be doing as well.
And a real life.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I like how if it takes like 10 minutes a target, right? We got to do how many we say, like 14, 15? It's 140 minutes. That's 2 hours just doing the FM, and that's if if it only takes you 10 minutes and you can coin in between. I mean, I don't know. I didn't see how long. Irf, do you know how long it took you to do the targets when you were going in and out?
It took a lot longer. It took about 15 minutes of going in and out. It takes around, but in the one hit with the Zelos and the icebreakers, that takes just over 9.5 minutes. So yeah, you're looking, 2 hours and a bit to do the whole lot. But with that fleet, you can literally keep hitting it until you're
done
the whole
Yeah.
affair, and then just set it on repair. So it's kind of it's not too bad. Whereas if you were using a different fleet where you had to repair it in between hits, then
you're boned. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess everybody's gonna be building ballistic zealous now, because I'll tell you what,
it doesn't. I was gonna say it doesn't really need to be ballistic zealous. It could be. I think it could be the rocket zealous as well, because you're not getting hit by anything.
It could be two. It could be 2 CM zealous. I mean, that's what I'm planning on doing and still running with monos. But the catch is it's just a fundamental change to how the FM's been run.
It's a case of the fact that they're just to me they were originally just a counter measure ship. I just filled up the extra spots with cannons just to do it quick.
Right.
You can still run them without the cannons and use monos with them. It's it's your choice at the end of the day. It's the basic build on it is just for literally shooting down everything that comes at you.
Mhm.
So you can still you can run two of those, two monos, and an assault ship, for example, like a Phoenix or something like that as a spotter, which is an assault tank for the rhinos. You can do that.
Well, I mean, if you get up to the point where you can fit 3 Zealous in that fleet, I don't think you're going to need anything for those things because
you can fit five. You can fit five in the fleet, and have one that's literally tanked up for pen and charged armored up, and you could probably do it for instant repair. I haven't tried it, but
I'm building for that at the moment.
so it's kind of the way that you want to do it.
Yeah, I'm out of tokens. I mean, the other thing that kind of annoys me is the fact that we're sitting here trying to, there's a handful of us testing, different ways of doing it. Because like I've concentrated on just doing it with the traditional garrison thing because I'm stubborn and, well, I'm stubborn. And then there's just a handful of people doing it to help the community, right?
Yeah.
The fact that we have to actually do this so that the community can actually handle these targets in and of itself is an issue.
Yeah, and the uproar when I posted that video, the first day I was doing it in 4 hits and it was like 52 minutes damage, and then I thought, well, I'll use the Zelos to shoot down some of the missiles coming at the icebreakers, and reduced it down to 20 minutes damage. So, by posting those videos, the amount of comments that I got on there going, why even bother? And all this crap, so they pissed so many people off. But I done it to help people out and to show that it is possible to do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we know that we always can figure something out on the targets, and given who designed this, there is a solution. I understand that. I don't know that. I don't know that our issue really was exactly the target itself. I mean,
think more
part of it is.
It was more to do with the time constraints on things.
Yep.
Only having that chest available for the 4 days or 3 days, whatever it was.
The timer, yeah.
But that was it was a mixture of that, the fact that nobody was warned about it, the fact that there was no sort of transition period into the new style.
Yeah, the implementation itself, the implementation of the change. Yeah,
I think it was just a kind of a mixture of all of those things that kind of just sent everybody into spaz mode, I think.
Yep.
So, if you break it down and you look at it, all right, it's not as bad as we originally thought damage-wise, we can get around it. But it's still the time constraints, the amount of free time that people have. And at the end of the day, the FM is our main source of tech, really, to keep up current, for people to catch up. So, it should be doable within a reasonable amount of time to most of the player base.
Yeah, they've lost their way on this one. I mean, I don't know. Is there anything more we can really say on this issue as far as they've just lost? I mean,
we can maybe come up with ideas to actually, how it should be to come in balanced. But I mean, the thing is, I don't think they're going to even. I don't think they care, and that's the biggest problem because you can keep the 115 the way it is if. And a 10% increase in points is not going to do it. Like that thing has to be like 500,000 or more points to make it worthwhile because it's the time. Like Irv said a bunch of times, the time constraints. It is you're time constrained in the amount of hits that you have to do, and how quickly you have to get it done because of that timer. I mean, there's just, it's one thing on top of another on top of another. It's a cumulative issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, but you haven't even hit it when. I mean, make okay. Let's say you only have to hit it 4 times to get everything right, and it depends on how much damage people are taking or whatnot. But let's say we have 3 garrison TLCs going on at the same time. You got to
Oh,
repair that.
good grief.
You're repairing that, and then you got. I mean, they shouldn't have fucked with the way it was because there was a balance to the game as far as it dealt with the FM, the TLCs, and Ran
I mean,
bless his Ran bless his soul. We were both burning our bras over Bounty, and didn't even participate. But if you just imagine how your repair queue is going to be just if we had a repair queue, but how jammed up that's going to be in this situation, even if you only have to hit it 3 times, if people are getting 6 or 7 hours
yeah.
of damage, and then, okay, that's basically a day of damage, right?
You actually made a point there that I didn't. It just didn't even dawn on me until you said it. Was that, if you have garrison based TLCs, well, shit, the TLCs that they're letting out to get the tech so you can do the garrison FM are garrison TLCs
Yeah,
while the FM is running. So which one do you want to do first?
yeah. And if you're building these, and if you're building these, in real time, do you want to rank them up?
Yeah, crap.
Oh, it's all.
It's not only that as well.
You
If
are-
you kick size build, you're going to be out of action for at least a day.
Yep.
If you use the ones that they've posted, because the repair on that's going to be insane.
I mean, the more I think about it, the more I like Earth's idea of just sticking a fully built, fully ranked Zealous in one of the damn prize packs to get people going. I mean, I think that's probably the easiest. Yeah, I think that's the easiest solution right there.
At least that gets people able to do some of the targets. And then.
I mean, because here's the thing. Like, even the 113, right? I was doing it for like 18 seconds of damage. Okay. And I don't know how many times I got messages going like, I don't know how the hell you're doing it. I'm taking like an hour of damage and this and that. Just because we can do it, this is the other thing, man. And I hope they don't use us as the yardstick because I have found out that, people can't mimic the same driving that we do in the videos.
That's true.
Even though it's in the videos, like we're not, we might, like, I think I'm an average player, but apparently, like, I'm not an actual average performing player, right? When it comes to PvE, I still suck at base hitting, so that don't matter. But in terms of PvE, I apparently can drive better than most of the players that they have playing the game or playing the targets or don't have the right tech to be able to do the same driving or whatever the hell it is.
I have issues. I prep stuff out for people, stuff that I'll find easy. Like, I'll go and prep out 103 Scourge grid for 300k base parts. I can prep those out for 0 damage whatsoever. And then
like this. Yeah, there's a trick to that.
Finished one turret and they'll overstep it, and and that's their fleet down for like God knows how many hours.
Yeah, so, I mean, and that's the thing is I hope they don't use us as the yardstick to go, oh, well, the 115 is fine. We are not the people to be basing that decision on at all. Not even a little.
You've also got to realise as well, though, that it is the elite target. If at the end of the day, it's it's the top level target. Not everybody should be able to do it, but agreed. People that are at the top of the game with this kind of stuff shouldn't be the yardstick on it. There should be that little bit of leeway in there for people that aren't quite as spot on with their driving and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm sort of very frustrated with the whole FM thing. Is there anything? I mean, I think have we exhausted pretty much all the ideas to throw out there that
Hmm.
maybe they're going to listen to at some point in the future. I mean, I'm just trying to figure
I,
out,
look,
should we end the show at this point?
the one thing I do want to get one thing out because this is the one thing that I don't know that they quit. I don't Kixeye, y'all have no idea what you guys messed with. Like we're coming and being very specific in some of the things that we're saying and having some ideas to resolve it and all that crap. But the way that you're handling this right now, with the way that the community feels right now, is very, very bad. You have a very good chance of really hurting this game if that's not changed, because the community itself is just fucking livid at this point.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, it's something we haven't talked about enough, probably. I mean, despite all those things, I mean, Battle Pirates is still, as far as a Facebook game, is one of the top 20 grossing games. But
Yep.
it's not anywhere near that in popularity, people playing it. I can't they figure out a different model than just pissing people off? I mean, if they brought more players to the game, and it's a game that can be highly monetized.
It
See-
has a huge potential, but the problem is in order to do that, they would have to take into consideration the beginning and entry points of the game, and to get this game balanced in such a way to actually allow for that, they would have to be in the red for probably like 2 months. And then after that, I'll tell you right now, if they decided to actually try and push this again and take out some advertising and push it on Facebook again, they could easily double player base within 3 to 6 months. They would have another 30% gross by the end of the year. But the problem is, in order to get there, they have to actually take a loss for the first month or two, and I don't know that they're willing to do that.
I think as well, coming back to the FM, I think that a lot of their game analytics are probably wrong as well, because they've probably got numbers of people completing the FM doing purely, like, for example, the old 113 targets. I used to prep those out for people who couldn't even hit 80 targets without having damage. I used to prep them out and just leave those turrets on the island on the inside, just the mortar turrets, just so that people could hit them from the outside for no damage, and it just looks in the figures everybody's doing it for nothing.
Yep.
That's on those targets. You're not. It's all right looking at facts and figures that you've got, but you've got to also interpret what the player base is actually doing.
Interpret it properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they're not doing that well. And that you actually brought up another fucking good point, man. The co-op factor of the raid is gone, and on top of the FM, with a lot of people perceiving and feeling that they can't do anything now in the FM, the fact that they're not going to be able to get the help like they used to in past raids, in this raid again for the second raid in a row, is probably going to hurt everything. It's going to hurt the game. It's going to hurt the community. It's going to hurt just everybody. I didn't even think of that. Like when we were talking about the raid, I didn't even think that to comment on that. But that's going to be a big thing, especially now where everyone's starting to feel that the FM is starting to get out of reach as well.
All right.
Also, the view from Kixeye's side is that they're probably saying, well, the targets are too easy because there's, for example, 50,000 people completing the FM a week, and they're all hitting 113 targets, and none of them are taking any damage. Obviously, the targets are too easy, but in reality, it's probably the top 1% of those people are prepping them out for other people in order to get them up to a stage where they can do it themselves.
Yep.
Yeah,
And it's actually an interesting juxtaposition in that they like to monetize aspects of the fact that the game is very community driven, right? It's community centric, and yet they block avenues, or they're trying to block avenues of the community actually interacting. I mean, it's an interesting juxtaposition. I don't know. I don't know if they quite realize where they've gotten, but
I think that it's really down to, their facts, figures, and numbers being fudged because they're not taking into account the community aspect of it.
well, I mean, that they didn't take into account the fun factor. I mean, that's fucking obvious.
That's well out of it. But I think as well, if the way that I see it is, I see the only reason that they would change it would be that they're looking at figures saying that 70% of the player base is doing 1-1-3s for no damage to complete their FM. As a guide to say that the target's too easy, when actually it's not. It's probably only 1% of those, and the others are piggybacking off the back of those.
Yep. Well, just like the FM, if they pull, you can pull the data and go, oh well, you can either go, this many players, got X amount of points, and go, well, we've been having problems, or you can take a full average or a mean average of the thing, and I mean, you can fudge it so many different ways, because I know there's players that, like, I mean, Earth, probably ended up with a bunch of extra points messing around. I mean, I did. A bunch of people that were testing probably ended up with a ton more points than we needed. And that's going to fudge the mean.
I actually just caught up because obviously I haven't done the FM for ages and ages. So
you ran up your points though, right?
I was really far behind, so I've just carried on doing it.
Yeah.
Tweaking here and there, and then just picking up prizes that I've not been able to pick up before, which is, bonus for me because I've been able to help out the community as well as kind of get a bit more on track.
How many points do you think you ended up getting the entire FM?
Probably about 9 million, I expect.
Yeah. See, that's going to throw off. Like if they took like a mean, that would throw it off.
Yeah.
Because we needed what, like five to get everything that was offered this time.
Yeah. So
something like 5, and I ended up with like another 3 something. So I probably ended up with like 8 or 9 million points myself.
Yeah.
I mean, we're throwing off the average. We're throwing off the mean. I mean, and that's what I mean is, like, I don't know that they're interpreting the data properly or in context.
That's the point. That's the point that I'm trying to make.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm trying to make another argument using the FM instead of the targets themselves, because that's a thing that, yeah, they just they have to interpret all that right.
Yeah, it's like to me, the way that I would interpret data, I would be looking at how many people are hitting 1-1-3s to complete the Forsaken mission, but I'd also be looking at how many they're hitting as well, because obviously the point structure, you can't just, well, they've completed all 1-1-3s to do their Forsaken mission. That doesn't mean that they could have hit 7 to do it, or they could have hit 70 to do it.
Right.
You get what I mean? And I think that that's another point where you need to kind of make sure that your figures aren't lying to you.
I'm kind of curious. Has anybody seen how many gutted 115s were out? Did anyone notice? Because I know we're in the sectors that I was in. Like, I was doing some of the testing.
115s, right?
Yeah, the 115s. Like, I was doing some testing as the weekend was going on. Like I had to go into like 6 to 7 of them before I could find a full 115 to run.
Yeah,
like, people have gotten them left and right.
Yeah, I mean, you can. I've gutted a few out to leave like the old group of turrets that we used to hit in the 1-1-3s.
No, I mean gutted, like they're going in and they're hitting that one little block thing at the beginning, and then the building's on the right. Sometimes the building's on the left, and that's it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been prepping them out for people because I think you can get around about 40,000 points. I think it works out about the same as what the 88 was, whatever that is. It's about the same amount of points for just that little cluster at the end that we used to prep for the 1-1-3s. So,
yeah, and that was worth 72 million if it wasn't disturbed.
It was.
Or 72.
Yeah, but it's now
72,000.
It's now worth the same as what the 88 is.
Okay.
So I mean, that's kind of, again, the balance is way off with that as well.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, do we have parting words, or are we still going to be, we've got, we're at the 2 hour mark. I mean, not that we're constrained by the,
Oh, good grief! Are we really?
yeah,
Shit.
yeah. Well,
Final
I don't-
words. Final words is really simple. Fucking listen to the player base.
I just thought
Yeah.
you were going to say fucking listen.
Yeah, that too. I mean, just something. I mean, damn.
Basically, all I'm going to say on the matter is that, if you're interested in the build, it's now on the forum underneath that post for the FM changes. Videos in there. Do with it what you will. There's also another video that I give to Rampage as well, because I actually give them both those videos in the builds for the 5 Zelos as well. Up to you if you want to build it. If you don't, I don't really care. I'm just trying to help people out, and I'm doing it for 20 minutes damage for 115. So if you've got the stuff and you want to do it, then all good to you. If you don't, then fine.
Okay. Anybody have anything else, or because
Oh.
people get mad when I end the show and not everybody gets to say goodbye to everybody.
If Brian was here, he'd say, "It burns."
Yeah, well, we're not sure why it burns. And everybody, I'm going to be, as soon as I push the stop broadcast, I will be. If anybody like to join us in the after show,
Rampage, if you're still there, come and join us.
Yeah, join us, man. We know it's not you, but you're the one that's getting bent over the table, buddy.
Don't bend you over, it's fine.
I just meant in terms of like the people on the forums, and he's
Yeah,
getting
he's getting
beat
right
on
back.
bad, and I can almost guarantee it's not him, it's his bosses, man. He ain't making those decisions, but he's a
Yeah.
good scapegoat, and he takes it he takes it on the chin and
Yeah,
keeps on going, so that's a plus.
Right.
Okay.
Just going to throw out there as well. I'm going to put some videos up for on the Battle Pirates Squad page of how to do some other chores and bits and pieces as well.
and some midgets. So just throw that in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure Kevin has his midget porn ready, so
Oh yeah,
see.
special section for you, George. I know
I
it's
don't
your
know
favorite.
that. I think you got me confused with Michigan Marauder there, buddy.
I've heard about
Okay.
your tendencies.
Well, I guess I'll wind it up.
All right. Thanks for coming, guys.
Yeah, thanks for listening to us for 2 fucking hours, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I will be posting the after show link in seconds from now. And